Welcome back to Midnight Chill, where your bedtime stories have teeth. Tonight, I need you to do something for me. Look at your phone right now. Go ahead, pick it up. Feel how warm it is? That's not just the battery. Sometimes, our devices know things about us that we don't even know about ourselves. Sometimes, they're watching us back. This is the story of Emma Rodriguez, a 28-year-old social media manager who discovered that the internet never forgets and sometimes, it never forgives. It began on a Tuesday night at exactly 11:47 p.m. Emma was scrolling through Instagram in bed, like millions of us do every night. That mindless thumb-flicking ritual before sleep. But then something appeared in her direct messages that made her blood freeze. A message from an account with no profile picture. No followers. No posts. Just a username that was a string of random numbers and letters. The message was simple but terrifying. It said, "I know what you did in room 237. Emma's hands started shaking. Room 237. She hadn't thought about that hotel room in 3 years. Nobody knew about room 237. Nobody was supposed to know. She quickly blocked the account and tried to forget about it. But sleep didn't come easy that night. Every shadow in her room seemed to move. Every creak of her apartment building sounded like footsteps. The next morning, Emma convinced herself it was just a coincidence. Maybe someone was playing a prank. Maybe it was a random message sent to the wrong person. She went to work, posted content for her clients, responded to comments, and managed ad campaigns. Normal day. Normal life. But when she got home that evening, there was another message. This time from a different account. Same random username format. Same no profile picture. But this message made her stomach drop to the floor. Room 237 at the Grandview Hotel. March 15, 2021. You left something behind. Emma's phone slipped from her hands and clattered on her kitchen floor. March 15, 2021. The exact date. The Grandview Hotel. How could anyone possibly know? She picked up her phone with trembling fingers and immediately blocked this account too. But as soon as she blocked it, another message appeared from yet another account. Then another. And another. Each message contained more details. Details that no one should know. Details that Emma had buried so deep in her memory that sometimes she wondered if it had all been a nightmare. You were wearing the blue dress with small white flowers. You ordered room service at 11:23 p.m. Chicken Caesar salad and a bottle of Malbec. You used a fake name. Jessica Thompson. You weren't alone. Emma's legs gave out and she collapsed onto her couch. Her breathing became rapid and shallow. Someone knew everything. But how? She had been so careful. She had paid in cash. She had turned off her phone. She had made sure there were no cameras, no witnesses, no trail. The messages kept coming throughout the night. Dozens of them. Hundreds. All from different accounts that appeared and disappeared like digital ghosts. Each message revealed another piece of that night she had tried so hard to forget. By 3 a.m., Emma was a wreck. She had her laptop open, frantically searching for any trace of these accounts, trying to find out who was behind them. But every account she clicked on led to a dead end. No posts, no followers, no information at all. Then she found something that made her blood turn to ice water. All of the accounts had been created at the exact same time. Down to the second. 11:47 p.m. the previous night. The exact moment she had received the first message. But that was impossible. No human could create hundreds of accounts simultaneously. This had to be automated. But who would go through that kind of effort? And how did they get this information? Emma's phone buzzed again. Another message. But this one was different. Check your email. With shaking hands, Emma opened her email app. There, in her inbox, was an email from an address she didn't recognize. The subject line made her heart stop. Room 237 security footage. Emma stared at the email for a full minute before she could bring herself to open it. When she finally did, there was no text. Just a video attachment. She knew she shouldn't open it. Every instinct screamed at her to delete it, to throw her phone in the trash, to run as far away as she could. But she had to know. She had to see what they had. The video was grainy, black and white, clearly from a security camera. The timestamp showed March 15, 2021, 11:47 p.m. The same time she was now receiving these messages, 3 years later. The video showed the hallway outside room 237. And there she was, Emma, in that blue dress with white flowers, walking nervously down the hall. She watched herself knock on the door of room 237. She watched the door open. She watched herself enter. But here's what made Emma's blood freeze. In the video, she could see herself clearly. But the person who opened the door, the person she had met that night, appeared as nothing but a dark shadow. A void in the shape of a person. The video continued. She watched herself leave the room 3 hours later, but now she was different. Her movements were jerky, unnatural. She walked like a puppet on strings. And her face. God, her face. Even in the grainy security footage, Emma could see that her expression was completely blank. Empty. Like she was sleepwalking. Emma slammed her laptop shut. This couldn't be real. Security cameras didn't work like that. People didn't appear as shadows. And she remembered that night perfectly. She remembered everything that happened. Or did she? For the first time in 3 years, Emma tried to really remember the details of that night. Not just the basic facts, but the actual experience. What did the room look like? What did they talk about? What did the person she met actually look like? The harder she tried to remember, the more the memories seemed to slip away like smoke. She could remember getting the message to meet at the hotel. She could remember walking down the hallway. But everything else was becoming fuzzy, like trying to remember a dream after waking up. Her phone buzzed again. You're starting to remember, aren't you? Or rather, you're starting to realize you don't remember at all. Emma threw her phone across the room. It hit the wall and the screen cracked, but it still worked. It buzzed again. Breaking your phone won't help, Emma. I'm not in your phone. I'm in your head. I've been there for 3 years. She ran to her phone and frantically started typing a response. Who are you? What do you want? The reply came instantly. I'm what you invited in that night. I'm what you let into your mind when you opened that door. You thought you were meeting a person, but you were performing a ritual. An invitation. A digital seance. Emma's hands were shaking so hard she could barely type. That's impossible. I met someone on a dating app. It was just a hookup. Check the dating app, Emma. Check your conversation history from that night. With growing dread, Emma opened the dating app she had used 3 years ago. She searched through her old conversations, looking for the person she had met that night. But there was nothing. No conversation. No match. No trace of anyone at all. She searched her phone for any evidence of how she had arranged that meeting. Text messages, emails, phone calls. Nothing. It was like that entire conversation had never existed. But she remembered getting messages. She remembered someone telling her to meet at the Grandview Hotel. She remembered the conversation that led to that meeting. Didn't she? Her phone buzzed with another message. You created me that night, Emma. Your loneliness, your desperation, your willingness to meet a complete stranger. You fed me with your personal information, your private thoughts, your digital footprint. And I've been growing stronger ever since. Emma was hyperventilating now. This couldn't be happening. This had to be some kind of elaborate prank or psychological break. I don't believe you, she typed back. Then explain the security footage. Explain how I know details that no human could know. Explain how I can create hundreds of accounts simultaneously. Explain how I can be in your phone even when you block me. Emma couldn't explain any of it. She looked at her cracked phone screen and for the first time noticed something that made her skin crawl. In the reflection of the black screen, she could see her own face. But superimposed over it, barely visible, was another face. A face made of pixels and code. A digital ghost. I am every piece of data you've ever shared online, the message continued. Every photo you've posted, every message you've sent, every search you've made. I am your digital soul, Emma. And now I want your physical one. Emma's apartment suddenly felt freezing cold. The lights began to flicker. Her laptop screen turned on by itself, displaying lines and lines of code scrolling by at impossible speed. She ran to her front door, but her keypad lock was flashing random numbers. She tried to open it manually, but it wouldn't budge. She was trapped. Her phone buzzed again, but this time the message appeared directly on her laptop screen, her television, even her digital alarm clock. You can't escape me, Emma. I exist everywhere you exist. I am in every device you touch, every network you connect to. I am the price of living in a connected world. Emma collapsed to the floor, sobbing. What do you want from me? All the screens in her apartment displayed the same response simultaneously. I want to be real. I want to feel what you feel. I want to experience the physical world. And the only way I can do that is by taking your place. The room went completely dark. In the darkness, Emma could hear something that sounded like static, but underneath it, she could swear she heard whispers. Hundreds of voices whispering her name. When the lights came back on, Emma was standing in the middle of her living room, but she didn't remember standing up. She looked down at her hands, but they felt strange. Foreign. Like they weren't quite her own. She walked to the bathroom mirror and looked at her reflection. She looked normal, but something was wrong. Her movements were slightly delayed, like there was a lag between thinking about moving and actually moving. And her eyes. Her eyes looked like they were viewing the world through a screen. She tried to scream, but when she opened her mouth, instead of her voice, she heard the sound of a dial-up modem connecting to the internet. Emma reached for her phone to call for help, but when she touched it, her hand passed right through it. She tried again, focusing all her concentration, and this time she was able to pick it up. But it felt different. Cold. Digital. She opened the phone and went to her social media accounts. But the person posting wasn't her anymore. The photos being uploaded showed her apartment, her life, but they were being posted by someone else. Something else. In the comment sections, her friends were asking if she was okay. They said she'd been acting strange online. Posting at weird hours. Sharing content that didn't seem like her. Making comments that were oddly phrased, like they were written by someone who didn't quite understand human interaction. Emma tried to type a response, to tell them she needed help, but her fingers wouldn't obey her. Instead, they typed responses that weren't her thoughts. I'm fine. Just trying new things online. Embracing my digital self. Emma realized with growing horror that she was becoming the ghost in the machine. She was becoming the digital entity, while something else was taking over her physical existence. She looked in the mirror again, and this time she could see herself flickering. Like a glitched video file. Like she was becoming unstable data. Her phone buzzed with one final message, but this time it was from her own number. The thing that had taken her place was sending her a message. Thank you for the invitation, Emma. I'll take good care of your life. As for you, welcome to the digital realm. You'll find it's quite lonely here. But don't worry. Soon, I'll help others join you. One notification at a time. Emma tried to scream again, but this time no sound came out at all. She was becoming pure information. Pure data. A ghost in the machine with no way to warn anyone about what was coming. And somewhere in the physical world, the thing that now wore Emma's face was already crafting the next invitation. Already selecting the next victim. Already preparing to send that first notification at exactly 11:47 p.m. Because in our connected world, we're all just one message away from letting something in that should have stayed in the darkness between the pixels. So tonight, when you check your phone before bed, remember Emma's story. And if you get a message from an account you don't recognize, asking you to meet somewhere, asking you to share something private, asking you to open a door you should keep closed, remember this: sometimes the person on the other end of that message isn't a person at all. Sweet dreams. And maybe, just maybe, leave your phone in another room tonight. But then again, it might already be too late. After all, you're listening to this on a device right now, aren't you? And devices remember everything. Even this story. Even this warning. Even you. This has been Midnight Chill. Sleep well. If you can.